strong on that, of course, being able to take, I think it was a 16-8 or so in the end. Now they're going to be going up against one win, but they're down a map this time. The momentum's shifted the other way, and they're going to have to get themselves back into this series, not only here on Overpass, but then also on Dust 2, where I don't think things will get much easier for them, considering the level of firepower we've been seeing from one win. What are we thinking, Wolfie? Do you think that he have it in them, rather, to pull it back now?
I want to believe. I desperately want to believe. I desperately want my prediction to be correct, if I'm being perfectly honest. Heat looked incredible on Overpass yesterday, but they just haven't had the firepower yet today. They just haven't brought that extra level, that extra step that we saw from the likes of Body, Lucky. You know, they were the two top fraggers, but only Body went positive in the series over on Vertigo. So it really does feel like this one could start to get a little bit ugly. At the very least, Heat will get to start on the CT side, and it's going to be an isolated play for Afro here. Stuck in towards the long bathrooms, 5 players facing, and there's just absolutely nothing he can do. Flamey rips his head clean off, and that is not a great start for the CT side.
No, definitely not what they were expecting, but they've still got the numbers and they've got the rotation up towards this A bomb site, so the early warning at least might still allow them to get this done. A big shot from Body. Ironically, takes the head from his opponent. The second as well is going to go his way, and this is much more like it. It's headshots all across the board. It's going to be a cleanup without another single casualty after that initial man that fell for Heat, and that is exactly how you need to start things off, or get everyone fired up now. If they can come through and get a strong CT side here on Overpass, perhaps they can just carry on with that momentum and maybe even have a little bit of revenge by stealing away their opponent's map choice in solid fashion, as one win we're able to do to them, I suppose. As we said, if it gets to Dust 2 as the decider as well, that's a bit more of a middle ground map for both of these teams, and it would be very exciting to see them clash there.
That's exactly what we wanted and exactly what we needed from the boys on Heat as well. Body getting a nice little train of kills in. Some fantastic damage. Short control this time taken. Flamey going to try and face it down. Just not quite able to find the connection. And with Lucky on 10 HP, he can just back away. Afro, meanwhile, getting a pick off towards Fountain. Will be traded 1-for-1 by Deco. And as Travis finds a kill onto Lucky, Deco finds another one, Deegan. That's the A site. Somehow, out of absolutely nothing, we're seeing them do it again with the Deagles and old Travis through the smoke. Little bit disgusting, but exactly what one win would have wanted. A couple of magic Deagles find themselves in a 1v3. Exercise has rotated to A. They have left the bomb. It's the classic matchmaking fumble, and it will mean that it's going to slow the play right down. It allows Exercise to start taking this control back. He pushes up Banana, grabs himself the defuse kit, making no sound cues either, so nobody's really going to be aware of what's coming here. And as Exercise starts to stick his neck down connector, there's 3 players. They're all looking the wrong way, but Foster's reacted in time, right as he looked for it. Exercise would have been licking his lips there, looking at the triple spray down to save the round. Instead, his head cleaved off by Foster. The Deagles get it done. And well, we said we had a great pistol out of Heat. I think arguably that was an even better second round out of one win.
Yeah, a little bit of a tilter there in the end as well. He got, I think, 1 shot landed on Deco, which left him on 1 health. If he took him out, then maybe that M4 he had in his hands wouldn't have been recovered. Either way, it's going to be an attempt at the revenge forced by from Heat here as well, pulling out what they can, but already the initial peak from Afro gets punished. Joko in connector is in a bit of an awkward spot. Sure, he has room to fall back if needed, but he's not really looking to. He wanted that fight up against Deco and everyone coming in through mid, and unfortunately, it does not work out. Flamey had it pressured his way out Monster, but realizing now when they already have a 5-on-3, it's just not necessary. They can slow it down. They've already got players working up that banana control over towards A as well, and with a player ready to move out connector, they can ensure that there's no one pushed up on B. So they've got really all of the options open with all of the time to work with as well.
It's a really nice opening set, and you can see as the stack goes down onto B for Heat, Deco's going to go for a little bit of a walkout A. Utility there to back him up as well, as he will clear all these angles. Bomb to join shortly, and at this point, really no reason for one win to throw anything else at this round. Quite happily sit back knowing they've saved 5 rifles. Admittedly, a few sets of armor maybe that we'll want to see hunted down over on the CT side for Heat. But I'd honestly be surprised. Deco has somehow taken a few ticks of damage. Not sure if that was a HE misplaced or what, but they are going to hunt it somewhat. Flamey has tucked himself already deep in towards T-spawn. There's 3 players there waiting for him, so he won't want to over-aggress and give them the AK-47, but Yeah, I think at this point, it really should be a handshake, right? You don't mind letting them save 3 pistols, a couple sets of armor, considering it was going to be a full eco in the next anyway, and the last thing you want to do is bolster that with an AK-47.
Yeah, or even an M4, considering they just have 5 rifles in general. It'd be a little bit silly to throw it away. If they had one MAC-10, I'd say, yeah, throw the MAC-10 at 100% or any sort of SMG, but just keeping 5 standing here will be the ideal situation, especially after they also won their force buy in that previous round with 3 alive as well. So you can see the impact of that on the economy of the players who were standing in both of those rounds, Deco and also, I believe, Glowing. Their economy is built up into a tremendous position already, and that's with the fact that you said, of course, an eco now has to come in around those saved pistols. So there's not really going to be much here for HEET to work with. It's a chance for another relatively clean round for 1 win, and they're setting themselves up tremendously here early on their map choice to potentially come out with a 2-0. It's still very early days, of course. Yesterday, we did see HEET get a lot of their work done on the T side up against Vizsla. Still, they'll be looking to try and get things going immediately off the back of this first gun round. Otherwise, things will really start to look a bit detrimental. Couple of kills, though. I admire the attempt at some aggression there when they heard the steps running down long, but just well played by 1win, leaving a couple players back to expect any sort of aggression like that. Leaving only Lucky. He's probably not feeling so.
Needs a little bit of it, to say the very least. Flamey currently holding the short tunnel. Timing is going to be good for him. Oster has been dinked up by his own teammate yet again. Travis is going to walk right into it, so there's the little bit of fortune that Lucky was after, but he will be immediately traded afterwards. So, not the worst for either team. You know, they do get a pick over on the HEET side of things, despite bringing essentially nothing into the round. 4 players kept up, though, is perfectly reasonable for that T side as well. So this is where things, as you said, start to get interesting. We need to see the rifles singing early for HEET. We can't have 1win keeping that momentum from Vertigo, keeping the spree, and just not really letting the CT side economy settle. So big chance and one that has to be taken. Limited utility, no AWP for either side of the equation. Aggression to be planned out by Joko here. We saw this yesterday. Likes to play this angle with the flashes. Fostar unexpecting. Shadow gives the game away, and that's a big opening pick to be found.
Still seem like they want to probe out a monster here with a couple players, feeling the pressure and hoping to negate the man disadvantage. All it's done, though, is make things much, much worse. Lucky with a spam. Even managing to get that second player just off the USP, and it seems like already with this round having barely begun, one winner already shut out of it. Somewhat surprised that Joko's remained aggressive. I think he just didn't want to get caught in transition, and at this point now actually decides he wants to go forward and get some info, find out what's going on for his teammates here so that they can position their numbers better. The problem is this late push from Travis actually might work out for the punish. It's a very shaky spray. Literally took a shot at Kirby's hand right there, as Deco gets himself one on towards Afro as well, but there already is a rotation that should be towards the bomb site before they can get that bomb in. So it's going to be a bit of an awkward position, although Body is going forward. His teammates aren't here. If he was to fall, suddenly it's a 2-on-2, but no, he's going to stand up. He's going to be able to take the first, and alongside his teammate then, they create a wall, a firing squad for Travis as he just jumps up into the line of sight. It's going to be 3-2 now as HEET get their second round, and they do so in pretty good fashion. Sure, they lose a couple of players, but they keep what they needed standing. They'll be able to drop over the couple of weapons that they need, and maybe one more round could actually break 1win down. I think they'd still have a bit left, though.
Really nice early round. It got a little sloppy in the mid, but they won't be too fussed about that either. Able to recover solidly, not giving away those 2v3, 2v4s that we saw prior. Quad-man stack, not going to find anything either for the T side on this occasion. Deco hoping to get the freebie on the AWP, and as soon as it doesn't come through, it introduces these problems. You can see the aggression coming in. Afro has fully taken Connector at this point, and Travis, the flashbang, not quite landing, but he still wins the fight out. I was about to say, when you go for that quad stack, you sacrifice so much control. If you're going to straight win your 1v1s like that, you can grab it back just as quickly. Man advantage established. And yes, they haven't got short, but this is already looking like a very rough position once again for HEET. Short control has to be abandoned at some point. It's going to be up to Lucky to read it. He wants to push up onto the top railing, wants to actually go for a little bit of a boost, I think, and tries to peek out Connector. Travis has got his number again, though. 2 kills from the aggressive Connector play. Should finally be traded, but the flashbang just about good enough to blind up Body for a third. Travis, a one-man army in towards the Connector, and now the CTs are split. Jocko on the backstab, he'll get the first, but that should open things up. Exercise 1 and done. Jocko's position known. Jocko's position dealt with. And one win again. One isolated rifle round goes wrong. Fine, we'll find a response immediately and we'll reset your economy while we're at it.
It's just worst case scenario for HEET. They're all about 2,000, at least most of them where it matters. They can get maybe a couple of pistols and even it out, but I'm not expecting anything more than that. And even then, we won't get it. Just get a flash bot up by Exercise, probably meaning there'll be some aggression. It looks like it's going to be in towards middle. I do like this. It looks like it's going to actually clash with where one winner focusing most of their players as well. How aggressive are they willing to go, though, is the question. It doesn't seem like they're getting too up close and personal. Hanging back, and for now, actually missing the fact that those players have pushed up past Fountain, so this is going to be dangerous. The AK of Foestar going to be able to handle one at least, but a trade comes in from Lucky. It seems like that's pretty much all they've been able to find, though. Elsewhere, it's been the kill feed, rather, just filling up with T kills, and yeah, the final kill comes in from Glow, and he was being flanked anyway, which he should be expecting after how Vertigo went with flanks every round.
Flanks on flanks on flanks. Our observer loves it. Keeps him on his toes.
Is he green?
Exactly. Exactly.
I thought that was a preset cam, to be honest.
HEET. The preset cam where it nods in a corner, yeah?
You knew you were going to ask a question.
Impressive levels of foresight. Pre-fire from Afro. Desperately close to connecting there as well, right as they look to cross Flamey. Wiping a little bit of sweat off his brow with that one, but the control will be established, and this time it's just the straight B-pop. No messing around. Exercise likes to play this close angle. The spray down does a hell of a lot of work, and he doubles it through the smoke once more. Tags up a third player down low, and that will open it up for Lucky. Straight B-pop, straight demolition job. One win, not able to get anywhere near getting through. That's the bomb dropped wrong side of the smoke as well. Travis and Glowing left to pick up the pieces. Crack angle for Jogko. Not quite going to land the spray down, though. Travis able to find at least one, trying to keep this, if not winnable, expensive. Aware that they have done such a solid job, like you said, of keeping that TT economy in check. If they can find 2 more kills in this round, and that may well continue, and the back and forth struggle will continue to favor that T side.
Yeah, at least for now, with the economy being as it is. But this will be their chance, of course, to try and chain 2 together as long as they close this one out. Ideally with the 4 standing that they still have, and well, that's looking very doable. Travis goes down, the bomb's obviously in Monster, and Glowin is probably considering just saving this up over. He can drop the Foster in the following round. He'll still have some money left over even as well. And they'll be in a position where at the very least they'll have some money going into the round afterwards if they were to need it. Again, though, the main focus for one win is just immediately strike back. Don't let them get more than a sole round. Obviously, HEET are not willing to hunt this one down.
Hope to be saved across. Not a bad one either, considering how much cash Glowing has. He'll be able to drop around. The buys will keep on coming. The problem is, as we said, you know, this was the opportunity. This was the economic break. Opportunity for one win to start running away with things. And that T side, it's just stuttered a little bit, especially those hits into the lower site. They've not worked out as intended. The sprays through the smoke continuing to find purchase for HEET, giving them just a little bit of a platform to build off, as we're going to see the quad boost again here. Trying to post Deco up, and he lands the shot. Exercise goes down early. A little bit of magic. Exactly what would have been wanted from one win. When they've got those opening picks early, when they've found themselves the 4-on-5, they have been incredibly consistent at converting. So that kind of little moment of magic is exactly what the doctor orders, as Jocko starting to aggress. Travis has jumped into it, read it like a book, and he rips his head clean off for it as well. 3-on-5. This is perfect for one win.
This is not perfect for HEET, though. This is worst case scenario once again. They were hoping that they'd be able to find something off the back of that aggression. Obviously, knowing that the players boosting up had left a lot of map control open. But when we're ready, they're moving together. They're ensuring that they're going to be able to just clear this out. And they've still got about a minute left now as they have this B water control. Although Afro, with his aggression on mid, I think he's about to get the backstab on one. He doesn't decide to take this.
Oh,
did he not see him?
He didn't see
because he was scoped in towards connector, and he just missed the shoulder going around the corner as well. This is the worst possible time, and this is going to be so awkward for Afro. Will he even be able to get anything done about it? Boddy's gotten himself 1 kill down on B, and there we go. He's actually got Glowing as he was creeping onto the A bomb site, and they were in the middle of bringing the bomb back potentially in that direction, I think. The 2 connector players were considering it.
If Flamey can't get this kill, if Lucky can stay alive, this gets very ugly indeed. Still in water, Flamey only just starting to consider the possibility. Lucky just has to buy time here. 17 seconds. Travis will have to get that bomb down. Lucky swings wide. Flamey not expecting it. Deco will trade for one, and Lucky on low HP makes this at least viable as Travis full blind does find the critical kill. Now onto Afro. The long con flank managed to get him one. He needs two more here. He's going to stay scoped in. Can't afford to give away the sound cues, but Travis playing inside of the smoke, his own smoke that was used to try and get him out of sight, surely won't be expected. Deco lying in wait will connect the shot, and one win. Again, very nearly bottling it, you have to say. An early 3-on-5, couple of big picks go against them, and suddenly it looked viable, but still able to drag it over the line, kicking and screaming.
Yeah, in fairness, I think it was just that flank from Afro that really was a menace to them, because he gets that one kill and it ruins what looked to be a plan of moving back up connector at that point. So it made things quite a bit more awkward. They were funneled in towards the B-bomb site as Heat were expecting, but they just didn't have the numbers then in the end to actually get that hold in. Nice shot from Deco. He has a chance to try and keep on padding those stats here against the weaker buy. Only a few pistols really being bought up. It's very likely 7-3 anyways for one win here before they're up against the guns again. And if they take this next gun round especially, they're already heading up towards potentially even 9. And at that point, Heat are just looking almost down and out again. You need to remember they already lost on Vertigo. This is map number 2. This is where we needed to see them pull off some miracles as they did yesterday. This should be a kill for Exercise anyway. An invisible gun in the hands of Flamey, it looks to be. Will he have a chance to use it is the question. No, he will not. The spin doesn't come in time. There's a chance maybe on long for a bit more damage, but unfortunately they're not going to be landing, and Travis does a good job dealing with Lucky in the end as well. So it's only Exercise. Will he save the AK? It looks like he wants to go fight.
He's going to throw it. He's going to go for a kill. Looks for more damage, but the aim punch is against him. So 7 on the board. One win looking strong on this T side. It's a little shaky around the edges, but again, it's a very similar story to map 1. It feels like it's just the individuals. Those big kills coming in, those big moments. Able to drag themselves through the slightly rougher patches in the mid rounds. 5 AKs out this time. No AWP for Deco. Afro's going to get his, so a question of can he really leverage it. That Battle of the Orcas really has felt like it's gone the T-side's way, as this time it's more aggression on aggression. The spray down very ugly, but Jocko finally able to rail it in, and that is full A-site control established at this point. Jocko is there. He's got support in towards the connector peak, so it's a straight pop. Out B, Travis with an early kill. Exercise, I think, spotted as he made his way into the water. The gunshots will certainly give the game away, and Foster able to double the kills. That's a freebie site. Fast flank coming in might make this viable. Deco isolated, but he's just about managed to get out of dodge. And at this point, it's a very awkward afterplant for the CT side. 2 from Monster, 1 from Short. The bomb is planted for Heaven and CT, and that makes it even worse as Travis swings wide again. Surely an 8th round on the board at this point. Body and Afro, they're going to throw everything at this, desperately trying to get themselves back into the round as Body starts to creep out Monster, but Travis has dealt with his AWP in the meanwhile, and that's job done. Body will look for the exits, maybe look to try and save that AWP late on in things, but Travis looking crispy as ever, finds another. And right as Deco starts to slow down, as Glowing starts to not look perhaps as crispy as he was previously, there's Foster, there's Travis finding kills aplenty.
I mean, Flamey's just been chilling even throughout this game mostly. He's 2-6 right now. He's got a few deaths because he's been moving in early when they are pushing, but mostly just because his teammates have been getting a lot of the kills before he really gets a chance to. So we'll have to see if he steps up or not, but at the moment, it's not really necessary. You mentioned Travis. I think that was the one name I didn't really mention earlier on when I was going through all the names. He definitely is one of the standout players, and right now at 14-5, he is on track for a fantastic performance. He's already allowed them to push past the barrier of having a lead at the halftime no matter what, and considering they're going up against a weaker buy here again, they're going to definitely build on top of it. A few pistols at least being bought up. I think we need to see something crazy from Heat if they want any chance of these pistols finding success.
Crazy is an understatement. Magical, I think, is the only word that really captures. With 3 Deags, a 5.7 and a default USP, how much they need to go their way to get it done. 9th round should be relatively easy. Of course, Frenchman and Deagle's always a possibility, but Deco already starting to thin the numbers. Clean headshot. He must have been working on his pre-fires because he has looked so crispy all series long. Just taking people's heads off for free. It is going to be aggression over towards B from the CT side that will confirm things are wide open and allow for the rotation. The problem is, Already the T side are almost the entire way up banana. They've got all the utility in the world, so really don't need to take any risks whatsoever taking this map control. Flamey there for the backstab, starts to deal with the stragglers in the form of Afro, and yeah, this is going to be a 9th round. Again, just a matter of maybe some exit frags, maybe even, if you're lucky, if you're exercised, considering you've got $650 of armor, and in the case of Lucky, another $600 worth of nades. You know, that's 1.2k. You don't have to rebuy into the next. Maybe you don't even want to be committing, and that does start to look like the call, at least for Lucky. Exercise is going to be dealt with by Deco, so he goes for a little more of a stat pad, but it's going to be a 9th round on the board. T-side of Overpass looking fantastic for the boys on 1 win.
Yeah, not even dropping a player. It's just absolutely flawless right now from them. I was not expecting this to be as one-sided as it is. I thought after the performance Heat were able to show yesterday versus Vizsla here on Overpass that we'd have at least a competitive one, but it just seems like he haven't hit the same form as they did yesterday, and 1 winner on a whole different level. I mean, Joko's been pretty quiet. Afro's never gotten going on the up here, as we can see. Body's not in the same level he was at yesterday either. Things are just not clicking for them, unfortunately. Looks like a quicker B play perhaps was planned on this one. Through the Molotov as well. Foestar just doesn't care. Look, he's gone already. Exercise is going to be tucked in on the barrels, but he's the last line of defense now on B, and 1 kill is nowhere near enough. It's going to be all on Afro, and he's already decided that he doesn't want that weight on his shoulders. He's trying to save the op, as you'd expect any reasonable person to do at this point. The thing is, they just as desperately need round wins as they need that op.
You really can't blame them. Just everything going wrong simultaneously. Through a molly with a perfect pop flash for an opener. They grab a second. Their A-Lurk gets 1 more. And, well, at this point, Flamey even just compounding the misery takes the AWP out of the hands of Afro. It'll be another half buy as we get towards the death of the first half of Overpass. And it is just dire for Heat. You have to say, this is a shadow of the team we saw yesterday, Dean. They just don't look even remotely on the level of 1 win at the moment. It feels like yesterday we got everybody clicking, everybody fragging out. Today, we're getting the exact opposite. Nobody's really stepping up to be counted. Nobody's lighting up the scoreboard in the way we've got Travis and Deco doing here on map 2, the way we had Deco and Glowing doing on map 1. And it's just leaving Heat sold up the river. Of course, this is the upper bracket, so it's not a done deal in terms of their hopes of Pro League. You want to stay in this upper bracket, and that's exactly what 1 win are looking to do, stamping their authority on this series, aggression in towards the fountain. And again, Glowing's not checked this. He heard the flashbang, should surely know what's up. He spots out 1, then spots the second on a late peek. We'll deal with him, and once again, it's a nice idea. Execution not quite there for Heat. Exercise with the consolation kill, but the bomb's on that B-bomb side, tapping away. Afro trying to grab a little more with the P250, and he will get a cheeky kill before he goes down, which leaves the bomb ever so slightly isolated. Deco aware of it, but he'll still get his head caved in by Exercise, and now 1v2. Time is against him here, Exercise, and Travis is trying to flush him out. They'll pincer him from 2 angles at once, and Exercise, you've got to turn, you've got to read this, and he won't quite get it in time.
Nice attempt to try and pull it back from a almost certain position of doom, but unfortunately not able to make it work. Considering what they had in that round, I mean, they end up making it relatively close, but it just doesn't matter. It's already 11-3. 12-3 is the worst case scenario right now. 11-4 is what they're fighting for if they want to give themselves a chance, really. And even then, they'll need to be flawless on the offense if they want to make this happen. Expecting the boost, he actually does spot it. Deco loses his head. There we go. Now they know that the boost, of course, was in place as well. So if they wanted, I was going to say those A players maybe could have taken some control, a bit more aggressive. But they decide against it. They're more than happy to just take the advantage and for once have 1 win sitting early on in a tough position where they're the ones feeling the pressure.
Foestar very nearly found a spectacular refrag, but not to be. And with Afro doubling his kill count on Glowing, this round starts to feel like it should fall by the wayside. 3 on 5 that Heat desperately need to convert just to keep themselves in this series, in all honesty. 2-man monster setup. 1 deep in towards ABC. Should be good enough to deal with the push as it looks to come in. A little bit of utility to flush out, but it's not quite catching anyone in particular. CT Molly goes in. That buys a little more time. And at this point for 1 win, yeah, it really is starting to just exit with a whimper. You have to say, Exercise wallbanging Flamey down as he picks up the AWP and hopes for a little bit of magic, trying to creep out short. Trying to play in and amongst the smokes, but 35 seconds, still utility available, still smokes to lock out the monster player, and as they look to pop through, Lucky and Body are there, leaving Travis 1v5. 11-4, it's not a great half, it's not even a good half, but it's something for HEET to work with, because that is a huge lead for one win heading onto the CT side, and HEET are going to need absolutely everything to go their way if they're going to stand any kind of chance of making it happen in the second half.
I've got to believe, though. I mean, again, the T side was where he found a lot of their success yesterday. So if they can get this pistol round, if they can control and the pace, then I do think that there's an opportunity for them to start pulling this back to a closer game. Again, though, they not only need to do that, they need to get the win here and then take it on to Dust 2, where it's going to come a bit more down to that individual skill, which they don't seem to be able to match up to at the moment.
Has to start with the pistol. Absolutely has to. They've not left themselves any time on the board, you have to say. They've not left themselves any kind of a buffer, HEET. T-side. They got a lot of the work done against Whistler. You said it, Dean, and they're going to need to get a lot more done here. 5-man charge up long. Flamey reading it like a book. 3 before there's any kind of response. Afro then taken down by Deco. The aggression from Travis traps the bomb out long, and oh no. That was not the round for a little bit of flamey magic, but that's exactly how it goes down. Body looking for table scraps, will at least find one. But again, there's time, I suppose, if you're looking for a positive. Body has a smoke to potentially lock out. If he throws it in the right spot, all 3 of these CT players. The problem is he's got no idea. He could be being flanked out. He could have a player out long. He could have someone close party. Travis, I think, is in the only angle that's not really going to be expected. It's a nice little smoke, though. Does maybe buy Body just a little bit of room to get something going, but again, this is wasting so much of that all too precious time now. Travis has even got a slight gap in this smoke. As Body looks to push it, he'll be spotted out. Won't quite find the shot, and that's bomb now recovered. What have you got for us, Body? Nice one tap onto the first. Double it up, Body looking to be the hero of the hour. Up against Glowing in a clean 1v1 now. His one smoke has really unlocked this round. The timing's ugly, though. Glowing swings again. More taps. Body just a bullet from death. He knows he's got to get this headshot. Charging his man down with the Glock, but the connection's not quite there. And Glowing saves one, wins blushes at the last.
Goes overkill as well by taking the headshot. Body down on, I think it was 20 health there for the entirety of that fight. Bringing it to such a close position, though, with those initial 2 shots. I didn't expect him to be able to recover that at all, so it was a nice attempt. Unfortunately, they just don't have the room for that. They need to win out some of these clutch situations. Instead, now left on an eco once again. It's going to be 13-4 before the guns are in their hands, and it's 1 win just edging their way towards victory right now. As we said, at least it won't be the end of the road for HEET. They'll be sent down to that lower bracket, but it's still not a position you want to be put in. Makes things just that little bit harder, of course, if you're looking for overall victory. I think they're kind of taking their time a little bit here so that they can have a bit of a chat about what they're going to do into this opening gun round.
It's a nice way to get yourselves a little extra time. Especially when, like you said, you know, there's 1 deke here. Maybe Body can find a kill or 2, make it expensive, but that's it. That's all you're really looking for. The pounce in towards the long bathrooms is a nice call, and they have got Exercise in a great position to backstab onto Deco here with the timing. The rest of the team sitting off, just waiting, buying time, has allowed Exercise to get into a fantastic position. Timing going to be everything, and there we go. He will manage to find the refrags. That's a nice little kill to be found. Now the MP9 taking multiple fights, including knowing that FABAS has been recovered, will have to fall back. Maybe a little more damage to be found in this round than we first thought, Dean. Still only 40 seconds left on the clock, though, and that's going to start to hurry this T-side into a stacked A-bomb site.
Yeah, with 3 SMGs in play, though, this could be a little bit awkward if that FAMAS starts to pop some heads. Fortunately for now, though, it's the M4 that takes the first point of contact. The MP9's going to wait for the closer range fights, of course, to come in. And so far, they're not really happening. Even a flank now coming around in through bathrooms there is going to make things quite awkward for HEET. It's unfortunate. A decent start, as we said, with that kind of bait and switch that they had for Exercise to get the initial kill, but they aren't able to build off of it. Instead, it's 13-4 as we expected. It's going to be a buy round now from HEET, and it is now or never, essentially.
Do or die time. You have to say. They will have a stronger buy than one win as they look for a little bit of a bonus round on the CT side of things. 2 MP9s, FAMAS maintained. Missed Molotov as well to allow a little bit of opening map control for Exercise, barreling his way through the playground. But there's more aggression, of course, there is from the CT side. Lucky tagged out to 23 by Travis on that roaming MP9. The opening damage exchange, you have to say, favoring the CT side somewhat heavily. Body even taking more chip damage through the smoke before he finds some of his own onto Flamey. And Jocko will actually open things up. Glowing a little too keen, perhaps, in towards the connector. And that opening man advantage could be huge for HEET.
Likely will be, but how much damage is also being done back in return, it doesn't really become an easy round. Those SMGs could still be very costly to them with even a couple bullets being landed. Deco's pretty aggressive in bathrooms. I don't think he wants to hang around anymore. He has his teammate aggressing up long, though, so wondering what exactly is the play. It looks like they want to take the risk with Flamey instead because he's on low health. The problem being, though, that he's not really going to get into a position in time here to confirm any of what's going on because it's been set up already to be brought in towards that B bomb site.
Travis has a molly. If he drops that short, he really starts to isolate these fights. Even if he drops it monster, that potentially denies the bomb late. There it goes, and that's just maybe 5 seconds too soon. A little bit later, and you'd really start to feel like they had a chance here. 2 MP9s trying to create a crossfire of death, and Travis will open things up. Lucky goes down early. There's 3 players here, and that's bought time for the backstab as well. Flamey ready and waiting will call what's up, but they're going to rotate back up to A. Deco on the wallbang manages to find one to keep them in it, and now Travis's aggression is rewarded again. They've got the A site, but at what cost? Exercise wanders all the way through. 7 seconds left. They will be able to get this plant in. They've got the time to do so. 2v4 after plant here. 3 rifles recovered now. A FAMAS onto Flamey to complete the complement. How does this retake look to pan out? There is a defuse kit. It's on Foster. He's making his way up. Banana and Flamey rips the head clean off. It's all on Exercise. 1v4 after him. He's got the early kill. Bomb is on his side, ticking away slowly but surely. Looks to play close truck. Foster looking the wrong way as the next. Exercise onto the low HP of Flamey, but he can't quite rain the spray in time. It's the last man, Travis, who gets it done again. And HEET, just victims of overthinking, you have to say. They go back, they go forth, they give more and more opportunities for one win just to take advantage of those fights, to catch people looking the wrong way. And well, one win at this point, just 2 rounds away from sealing the deal.
So close. He hits the first couple bullets on Travis as well, but Travis just hits him with the crouch down, and he's just able to avoid death to stabilize his own spray in the end. That was so close. A nice attempt from Exercise, and he's had some good moments here on Overpass, which is good to see from him, but unfortunately, he's just not really had a ton of help with it. A forced buy-in as you'd expect from HEET considering the circumstances, and already an opening kill from Flamey. Body wanted to take some initiative. He wanted to try something a bit crazier in those open seconds, and the hope was, I guess, to catch someone pushing on short, but instead he was indeed just shut down. So a 5-on-4, things can be slowed down a bit by one win. They don't necessarily need to keep on taking the fight to HEET, but they are happy to rattle off shots and ensure that pushing forward for this map control at the very least is going to be costly. Lucky, though, with a very good punish. The problem is he's dinked down to 8 health in the meantime, so they still need some success elsewhere.
This little pot flash, they're trying to isolate Deco here. They're doing a solid job, and the flick won't quite land, so the trades are good. For HEET, it starts to open up an A site that only really has Travis defending, and he's way out long at this point. Afro on the AWP. They're going to go for the retake before the bomb's even gone down, and that bomb is still very deep in towards spawn. The T-side are by no means committed. We saw this a lot from HEET yesterday. Leaving that bomb, going back late, knowing they'll draw the rotation. CT side should surely start to smell a rat, though, and with Foster dealing with the AWP, it's a man advantage as this retake looks to pan out. Glowing already making his way down into the lower site, connects the spray down onto Exercise, and this time it's Jocko. 1v3, very similar situation, opposite bomb site. 1 low HP player, 2 full. A 3-man retake to try and land for the CT side. Jocko to try and hold it off all by himself. Galil in hand, spots out everyone, knows exactly where to look. Spray down connects onto 1. Travis, the high HP player, trying to bait Foster into this one. Jocko just desperately trying to buy any time he can, but again, it's the last man. Again, it's Travis. This one a little easier to clean up than the last, but it's 15 regardless. They won't care how they got there, just that they're here. It's once again one win with 11 opportunities to seal the deal in this upper bracket to knock HEET down low. force them to try and make the long road back to being competitive. This, again, so close for Jocko, but just that last man not quite able to seal the deal.
Yeah, there's been a ton of close rounds on gun rounds, on those swing rounds especially. It seems like Heat are usually able to give a good challenge, but they keep falling short. It's like a small tease of what the game could be if things were to just go slightly better for Heat, but it's not happening. Their buy is at least better here in towards what could be the final round. Exercise wants to ensure that that's not the case, though. Unfortunately, his teammate gets spammed and returned there through the smoke, so the advantage he took for his team early on is very quickly neutralized. Taking out Travis, though, in their 1-for-1 trade, that is very worthwhile.
It's a huge win.
Ooh, well,
really has been the star of the show. That's a huge call.
Is
They're going to
Glowen
refresh
timed
the
out?
outside monster smoke as well, just to try and buy some more time on it.
No, he's not. I actually thought Glowen was timed out, and that's why they were taking the risk, but he's here.
Just feeling it. I suppose when you've got an 11-round buffer, trying to 4-man A-stack one time, trying to aggress up Banana like that, it's not a bad call. It gets them a frag. Exercise will at least trade for one. Little does he know there's 2 more players waiting if he looks to push too far. Foster forced to swing by the death, though. Will be traded cleanly and flamey at this point. Chucked into a 1v2. Has low HP on Afro, who's a single bullet from death. Lucky, meanwhile, has completely cleared the B site. Again, the problem is, though, that bomb, with 30 seconds left, is looking very lonely out party. Low HP bar not going to deter Afro, however. Clean headshot. Gap narrows ever so slightly to 10 and actually completely breaks the economy of 1win as well. You have to say it's consistently been last man standing for the CT side of 1win. So this one's going to be a complete break point. They'll have to force here. If they can't get it done, eco the next, then you're starting to get towards 7 and 8 and you're starting to maybe dream a dream if you Heat.
Yeah, it's still a while before I really start believing. Hit 10 or 11, that's when I start to think, okay, yeah, 1 or 2 gun rounds, it's doable, but for now, it's just got to be 1 round at a time that Heat take it, especially with how many clutch situations we've seen 1win manage to win out. As they get back on their guns is when we'll really, I suppose, be able to tell how it's going to go. Nice shot by Lucky, though, there on the initial entry. Damn, body as well. Tapping heads on Flamey. This is more like what we were seeing from them yesterday when they were just opening up that B-bomb site against Vizsla with ease. Body was in tremendous form as well. He was popping off. So if he can start warming up, if they can also have Joko getting going, then there's nothing to say that it's impossible for them to pull off this comeback. And they need to. Travis. A little bit of an awkward position with the player deep in towards connector. I was going to say, I don't know how he hasn't been peeked, but eventually Joko goes for it and just taps him in the face. I thought he had already peeked before and just hadn't seen him somehow. I was very confused by what was going on looking at the radar. But Deco is left with his scout, and I'm surprised he's moving towards connector. He'd probably be better off saving it at this point.
Would have thought. He's going to try and get a kill out of it, though. Joko has been periodically peeking this. And they will pass like ships in the night. Neither overly keen to get aggressive on it. Deco actually going in late. Will miss the shot. Will be cleaned up. So you're right. Probably would have been better to save that. Goes down without a fight. And some nice shots from the Frenchman here. Heat looking very clean. But we needed this realistically about 10 rounds ago. And that's going to be the problem here. They've not left themselves any room for error.
I think even Joko was confused there in the end when the scout comes charging down connector. Just like, what the hell? Why? Hoping, I guess, for a weapon upgrade, of course, but I think it was a bit too ambitious. I suppose with the scoreline, again, similar as to what you said when they went for that A stack a couple of rounds back, they have the room to make some plays like that. The scout would have helped here for them to do a bit of damage alongside the USP, is sure, but if he had an AK in the hands of Deco, then things would have been a whole different story, so maybe I can understand. Exercise, though, he's being pushed by pretty much everyone. Drops the molly to ensure he's not going to be charged on from behind, but he didn't see the player that already made his way in towards playground with him, so that's a bit unfortunate. AK is going to be...
Get rid of the AK.
Oh, I think he did. I thought he didn't get rid of it in time, but he must have. Either way, it's still USPs in the hands of all these CT players, and the B-bomb site's already being taken. So even with that 1 kill, there's just nothing really to be done.
Just about. They whiffed that molly as well. I think he was trying to get it ahead of him to give himself a couple more seconds if he pushed that way. It turned out to be the right kind of whiff, though. Kept 3 players away just about long enough that he manages to get rid of that AK. And like you said, at this point, it's a done deal. They're just going to go for something a little cheeky, charging out connector, but the kills just keep on adding up. Heat,
There it
8
is,
rounds
yeah.
away.
It was out there.
Yeah, he just about got it out of the map there. You have to say, if Flamey's one shot quicker, it probably lands short. The momentum not quite there to carry it over the mark, but regardless, it's going to be the buy. It's going to be the 5 rifles into this one. No AWP for Deco, and that has been a weapon he's been having a lot of impact with on the CT side, so we'll have to wait and see if that proves to their detriment. Boost out for the quad from Afro. Opens things up onto Foster. A little bit of a taste of their own medicine for 1 win.
Yeah, we've seen the same boost work out once out of twice, I think it was, when 1win attempted it back on their T side. And obviously they're going to realize that they need to take some map control, especially with the loss of Fostar in these initial couple of seconds. I like that they have a player up in connector here, that they have the B water control as well. Gives them the potential to pincer in towards connector. The problem is, it's going to be smoked off. Body pushing in, I was going to say, should be in a decent position to at least get a trade out of this, but no one else was ready to push forward. They had the op still chilling back in the back of connector alongside another rifle player, and I'm honestly not too sure what the goal was right there. They must not have been expecting that player to be pushed up into connector.
Just felt a little misguided. Should still be plenty of time to recover this situation. Isolated fight here. Travis tucked close by the bins. I don't think he's going to be expected at all. If Exercise over-aggresses, it could get very ugly, but he's going to look for a timing instead. Nobody watching him for now. Travis will be able to trade, but the bomb all the while is headed down towards that lower site. Still a 2-man stack here for now. They cannot afford to rotate away. Glowing and Flamey with 0 utility. They will call the 3rd man down. It's going to be an absolute brawl on entry to this B site. No util for the CT side. They need to try and stop them early. Glowing, no idea what's going on. Blinded to all hell. Flamey just about able to trade his death into something workable. And with 15 seconds left, they've just got to deny this plant. And I think they know it here, the CT side. Travis was desperately looking for an angle in that is going to go down, though. And now this feels winnable. Jocko takes out the heaven flank, and Travis is left 1v2. Lands the first and the double, of course he does. He's been the hero of Overpass for 1 win, and he's the hero once again. That is job done. 16-7. It will be the victory for 1 win. It will be the clean 2-0. And we will keep our streak of 2-0s down here on the C stream going. A little unfortunate again. You have to look at Heat and say, you're in a 5v4 conversion. You have to get that done. You have to keep your hopes alive. And you can't keep giving these 1-win players clutches. You know, 1v2s, 2v4s. We saw it far too many times, you have to say, Dean.
Yeah, there was just quite a few different rounds, rather, not only here but also back on Vertigo, where they let rounds slip away. That could have been the difference maker. Important gun rounds where even they're on the weaker buys and they managed to get themselves into good positions and then maybe get a bit over ambitious with it. So it just seems like Heat unfortunately weren't at their max potential as of today. And